Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Naam Sankirtan ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
वो बैठ नहीं पाता, पैरस पे चोट लगा है।
कम पैरस फैला के बैठा
नाटक करेगा जैसे पहले
sit I'm telling you sit take it on your lap right side
yes it hurts my leg
right leg right
yes
I was gonna right put straight I'm telling you
come on
Just do it here, just do it here. I did mine here. No more to that. I got it.
Riya, can you play harmonium for me? मैं इसको दिखाता हूँ. Sit. Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pasyata Desatarine.
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Desatarine.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Nitai Gaura Sundar, Nitai Gaura Sundar, Nitai Gaura Sundar, Jaya Nitai Gaura Sundar,
Jaya Nitai Gaura Sundar, Jaya Nitai Gaura Sundar, Jaya Nitai Gaura Sundar, Jaya Nitai Gaura Sundar.
Jaya Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara Shri Radhe.
Jaya Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara Shri Radhe.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol,
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Nama Sankirtan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanand.
मदन गुरु
नहीं ये ले लो, ये ले लो प्रभु जी, ये ले लो वायर, ये कोई हिल रहा है वायर इसलिए प्रभु जी। नया डैशबोर्ड ला
मुझे लगता है श्यामानंद प्रभु जब भी मैं बोलता हूँ ये खराब करते हैं या मैं कीर्तन करता हूँ,
यानी उनसे कोई दुश्मनी है आपसे।
प्रभु वो है क्या हमारा,
तो वो चल नहीं रहा है, आपको ये लगाना पड़ेगा।
अच्छा
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, so nice to hear the wonderful mellifluous voices of all the devotees. So when devotees sing the Mahamantra, it feels like we are in Vaikuntha, we are in Vrindavan. So thank you so much for joining and chanting the Mahamantra. So we had the Maha month of Maha Mercy, Kartik, and the Kartik last day was on Wednesday, but we have the special mercy, like I said, it's the Maha Mercy. So the mercy of Srimati Radharani still continues. So that's why today we will have the final concluding spiritual discourse. Someday we have been having 6 weeks of spiritual discourses in the month of Kartik. So today will be the concluding part, and we have none other than, where is our special speaker for today? Okay, where is he? He's Krishna के जैसे वो भी छुप जाते हैं. Okay, so let's welcome His Grace Jaya Hari Prabhu by loudly chanting 3 bol. Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari bol. So Jaya Hari Prabhu doesn't need any introduction. He has been one of the core members, integral members of ISKCON Cincinnati for many, many years. Prabhu is a doctor by profession. He's a colorectal surgeon, as we know, and practicing in St. Elizabeth. Mataji, his wife, Her Grace Priya Radhika Mataji, had given us a beautiful talk 3 weeks ago on Damodar Līlā. So both of them are practicing physicians, and they are wonderful 2 lovely kids, Jia and Aryan. And Prabhu has, like I said, he does a lot of services, but one of the core service that he does is he enables us to have these nectarian kathas every week after week. So he engages all our external speakers, all the Vaishnavas who come from all over the world to come and give us their association, give us their nectar of Harikatha. So that is something that His Grace Jaya Hari Prabhu arranges. He plans in advance, almost months in advance, and also our internal speakers, everything. So this whole month of Kartik, he orchestrated all the talks that we had, and as a humble Vaishnava always is, he keeps himself at the last. So he keeps himself at the end. So after all the 5 series of spiritual discourse that we had, now the 6th one, concluding one, today is the topic of Kāliya-Damana Līlā. So the deliverance Kāliya Nag on which Krishna danced. So that will be the topic today of discussion. So without further ado, let's hand it over to Jaya Hari Prabhu by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra once more time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I also forgot to mention one important thing, that Prabhu is a disciple of His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj. Hari Hari Bol. And I think Adi Prabhu also reminded me that we'll have kids classes, as we all know, but those who are, if you are new and if you have kids, we have two classes from up to 8 years is the Bal Gopal class. So that will be taken by Her Grace Pragyan Mataji today. And we also have 8 to 13 years, which is Dhruva class, and that will be taken by Meenakshi Mohini Devdasi. So for those kids who are here, who want to attend those classes, please join the respective classrooms. Okay. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you, Madhananda Prabhu. Thank you, Madhananda Prabhu. I just thought, I promised maybe month and a half ago, that I'll prepare a list of all the book readings which are happening. So I'll put that in our ISKCON Cincy Seva group. Basically, the general gist of it is Madan Prabhu does every morning 6 to 6:30 Lilamrita reading. And then he also does every evening, Monday through Thursday. He does the small books, so Journey to Self-Discovery. And then there are several Bhagavad Gita groups across the week, some in English, some in Hindi. The Hindi ones are led by Mataji, Meenakshi Mohini Mataji, whereas English groups are led by Adi Guru Prabhu, Priya Radhika Mataji. And then I convinced just now Shyamananda Prabhu to start a Gujarati group on Thursday evenings. So I'm going to compile all this. I also do a group on Wednesday evenings for Bhagavad Gita reading. And then I haven't enlisted here. Sucharu Radha Mataji does Bhagavatam reading. But again, I'll compile all this list and put it. So whoever has what time, please join so that you get association throughout the week. Yes, Kamal Krishna Prabhu. Yes. 7:45 to 8:30. Okay, Prabhu. Saturday and Sunday. Okay. Okay, very nice. So I'll compile that list and post it. So please join whichever works in your work schedule, so that we all can get, the nectar of Prabhupada's words. So I'll move on to the topic for today. And so, first of all, I want to thank all the speakers for these 6 series. I orchestrated this in my mind and they all agreed. We selected some Leelas and I think you all relished it. I'm selfish for sure, so I chose this Leela because I thought I'd only know the least about this. Not the story of it, but the lessons behind it. So I feel that this was important for me to know. One more thing, one reflection was coming when Kamal Krishna Prabhu was doing Kirtan with his family. That's such a beautiful family, all 4 2 kids and themselves. Every week they come first thing in the morning, every evening, and they start Kirtan and they kind of welcome the Lordship. So let's say 3 big Hari Bol for Chaubey family. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Very beautiful, Prabhu, very inspiring. So I'll start with, Prabhu, can you give me Kirtan? As the etiquette, I'll start with the Jaya Radha Madhava. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvardhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvardhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jaya Nitai Gaura Sundar Jaya Nitai Gaura Sundar Jaya Nitai Gaura Sundar Jaya Nitai Gaura Sundar. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Naam Sankirtan ki. So we'll go to the Mangala Charan. People who know can sing, go along. Om Ajnanam Timanandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Milatanyena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagar Jatam Sahagana Raghunathananvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savdutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopika Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. One more time. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we'll say Prabhupada Vanati one more time to seek blessings from him. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine. And just to take blessings from my Guru, Mukham Karoti Vacham Pangate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Deenataranam. I offer my respectful obeisances unto my spiritual master, the deliverer of the fallen souls. By his mercy, even a dumb man can speak eloquently and a lame man can cross mountains. That shows the mercy of our Guru Maharajas, who can make us do things which are beyond our capacity and capability. So I feel very unqualified. So please bless me. If I make mistakes, please correct me. And I want to ask for forgiveness even before the start. If you like something, it is all copied, pasted, as I said in the initial slide. If you feel I've committed a fault, please forgive me and correct me so I get the right understanding. So I feel to get into the correct mood here. Is the volume, Prabhu, through my or this one? Through TV? Can you put the volume? So, while I was preparing for this class myself, I was listening to this this Kirtan by Radhika Das Prabhu from England, and it has a very beautiful thing he says in 30 seconds, which actually sets the mood. I know we are finishing Kartik and we have separation from Kartik-month, But I felt that I want to start my class with the 2 words he spoke here in the middle of his Kirtan. So I just want to everybody, or we can just put aa jayega. Okay. You speak with it, huh? Okay, Mike.
I went through a period of time where I was thinking about naming each melody. And the name that came to me for this one is
Can you hear? Okay.
Coming Home. Because when we first chanted this, I was in a place in my life where I was thinking about going places, trying to be someone, do something in this life. And then I realized that the safest place to be is in the arms of divinity and being rest assured that I'm being carried by something greater. No need to endeavor too much. Just remember to come home. Maybe it's a nice meditation for you also. Don't worry about being so many things and doing so many things in the year that comes. Just be rest assured. All I've got to do is go home. So let's walk each other home together. Let's come home together. Let's chant together from the heart. All together.
So, growing up, I was a very ambitious person. I still am in so many ways, and I feel that this hit hard to me that, we struggle, we fight, we try to go ahead, we try to be the best, and all he's telling us is that, just calm down, just try to reach the home, reach the Godhead. I feel that I was very, I made Priya Radhika listen to this as well, because I felt this was very profound. And it just came out of nowhere, so I felt I wanted to start with that. So I'll try to be timely. Please forgive me if I go beyond. I'll try my best. So the goal of my talk today would be to go over some Krishna Katha of the Leela, but I'll use the verses from Bhagavatam. Just for people who don't know, Prabhupada unfortunately did not finish the entire 12 cantos of Bhagavatam. So some portion of the 10th canto onwards were written by his disciples. So this was one of the chapters which was actually translated by his disciples. And I think they have done a phenomenal job. So I use some of those verses to pass through the Leela. And then we talk about the lessons we take from this Katha. And then how do we apply it in our lives? So without further ado, I'll get started. Priya Radhika is not here, right? She's not. Shri Sukha Vacha Vilokya Dushitam Krishnam Krishna Krishna Hina Vibhu Tasya Vishuddhim Anvicham Sarpam Tam Udavasayat. So here translation by his disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Sukadeva Goswami said, Lord Shri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, seeing that the Yamuna river had been contaminated by the black snake Kāliya, desired to purify the river, and thus the Lord banished him from it. So in one verse, Sukadeva Goswami, who was telling the Bhagavad Katha to Parikshit Maharaj, finished the Kāliya-Leela. And you know the story. Parikshit Maharaj was given 7 days to live, and he was told that after 7 days he'll die from the bite of a snake. So here he was sitting in front on the banks of river Ganges, listening to Krishna Katha for 7 days at a stretch without eating or drinking anything. So Sukadeva Goswami, I don't know, he was being compassionate towards him, but was trying to cut short or take corners or take shortcuts. So in this one verse, Sukadeva Goswami finished the Krishna Leela. And of course that did not please Parikshit Maharaj. So he said, King Parikshit inquired, O learned sage, addressing to Sukadeva Goswami, please explain how the Supreme Personality of Godhead chastised the serpent Kāliya within the unfathomable waters of the Yamuna, and how it was that Kāliya had been living there for so many ages. So he's inquisitive, he wants to know more. So this is the perfection of hearing. Here he is sitting down for 7 days. He's on the 10th canto now. By the way, 10th canto is roughly halfway in the all the verses of Bhagavatam. So he has half more way to go. So he's trying to kind of speed up. Sukadeva Goswami is trying to speed up by cutting short the story, but he's not happy. Parikshit Maharaj wants to listen more, and this is nothing but the perfection of hearing. So people who have heard about the Navadha Bhakti, or the 9 limbs of Bhakti, which were given to us by Prahlad Maharaj in the 7th canto of Bhagavatam, Shri Prahlad Vacha, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Swaram Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakya Atma Nivedanam. So Shravanam, which is the hearing, comes on the top. And Shravanam has several facets to it. You can't just listen and be it, You have to listen with your heart, full consciousness. Then you have to do Mananam. And then, as Keshav Maharaj says, then you have to do, there's a word I'm forgetting, Sanskrit word, which is basically reflection, and then goes to application. So here, Parikshit Maharaj teaches us the way of hearing, the way of Shravanam. So, and as you see, it is the top of the 9 processes of devotional service. So you all have passed the first step. You all are listening attentively, and I'm very happy about that, even to a speaker like myself. So we start with chapter 17 of Bhagavatam, which is actually, it's almost like a flashback which is coming. So the main Leela happened in chapter 16 of Bhagavatam. So 10th canto, chapter 17, Sukadeva Goswami tells the story of Kāliya. So he was one of the serpents who used to live on the Ramanaka island, where a lot of ferocious serpents used to live. And those serpents, as you know, were enemy of Garuda. So to seek protection from him, they used to give Bhoga to Garuda, the carrier of the Lord. And Kāliya, who was a son of Kadru, he was very arrogant, full of pride, powerful, mystic. He refused to give the Bhoga to Garuda. And there was a fight which ensued, and here it's described in Bhagavatam that Garuda chased Kāliya, and Kāliya realized very quickly that he's not going to overpower Garuda, so he ran ferociously, and he took shelter in one of the lakes of Yamuna in Vrindavan. So why did he do that? Let's learn. There is a story behind it from Satyuga. Garuda was flying in the region around Vrindavan, and he got hungry, and he stopped to eat fish, as that's his common food, in that lake where sage Shobhari was doing his whose tapasya, you can say, and he was meditating there, and he told Garuda not to eat fish there because that will disturb his sadhana. However, Garuda, being very hungry, couldn't control, and he took courage and continued to eat his fish. So he was given a curse by sage Shobhari that if you ever come back to this lake again, you will die the same moment. So this is the lake which was there, and Kāliya, being the mystic he was, knew about this story. So he found, you can say he kind of found a shelter in that lake, and he made his presence permanent in that lake such that he created a whole city under the water. He had this he knew this mystical science of Jalastamba, so he could create concrete structures under the water. So that's what he did. So the whole city was created, where lots and lots of serpents used to live, along with Kāliya, his wives and all. And here Sukadeva Goswami describes in verse 4 of the 16th chapter, he says, within the river Kalindi, which is another name for Yamuna, was a lake inhabited by the serpent Kāliya, whose fiery poison constantly heated and boiled its waters. Indeed, the vapors thus created were so poisonous that birds flying over the contaminated lake would fall down into it. They say that even any living entity which used to fly over the lake died because of the vapors. The trees, the plants, all the herbs next to the shore of that lake were all dead except for one Kadamba tree, which was necessary to perform Krishna's Leela, that maintained its position. So the story goes back that Krishna, as usual, used to go with the cows, being the cowherd boy, along with the gopas, and it was a very hot day, and they were very thirsty, and they came across this lake. Not realizing this is poisonous, all the gopas and the cows drank water and took the poison and died. And as a result of which, Krishna was very upset. Krishna being Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he glanced at the cows and the gopas and he made them alive. But that was not over yet, because he realized, and pardon me for the small print, but I'll read these aloud for you. But he realized that this lake had been polluted. He says that Kaliya serpent had polluted the Yamuna river with this terribly powerful poison. Since Krishna had descended from the spiritual world specifically to subdue envious demons, the Lord immediately climbed to the top of a very high Kadamba tree, which was the only tree which was in the next to the lake, and he tightened his belt and slapped his arms and jumped in the water, in the poisonous water. And then when he landed in the water, it's described by the acharyas that even though Krishna was very young, I think he was 5 or 6 years old, he splashed so much water that the water kind of overflowed the boundaries of the lake. That was the powerful. And he writes here, this is not all amazing, however, because the Supreme Court possesses infinite strength. And then once he was in the water, Krishna being a playful child, showing his prowess, he started kind of splashing the water like a lordly elephant, they say, swirling his mighty arms and making the water resound in various ways. And when Kaliya heard these sounds, who was deep under the surface of the floor of the you can say the lake, he understood that someone was trespassing his lake, but he couldn't make sense. On one hand, you have all the creatures who died with all the poisonous vapors, and now there's somebody who's swimming in the water, playing, frolicking, and splashing the water, disturbing him. So he became very angry, he was very, very full of that who can disturb me in my own land. So Kaliya saw that Sri Krishna, who wore yellow silken garments, was very delicate, his attractive body shining like a glowing white cloud, his chest bearing the mark of Srivastava, his face smiling beautifully, and his feet resembling the whirl of a lotus flower. The Lord was playing fearlessly in the water despite his wonderful appearance. The envious Kaliya furiously bit him on the chest and then completely entrapped him in his coil. So imagine a little baby, a little kid, a few years old, and now he's entrapped in this huge, massive Kaliya with 1,000 hoods. And entrapped by him, and on the shore you can see. So when Krishna was in trouble, because all the Brajavasis, all the Vrindavan people were, they had ominous signs, both physically as well as mentally. They perceived that something was wrong. So everybody walked to the shore of that lake. And were watching him fighting and getting entrapped in the snake, were getting worried about it and wanting to jump into the water themselves. And on that particular day, Lord Balram had not accompanied him, so that was even a bigger cause of worry, because they thought whenever Lord Balram was with him, he was safe. So moving forward, so Lord Balram saw that Nanda Maharaj was about to jump and he stopped him. He knew Lord Krishna's actual power. So Lord kind of, again, Lord doesn't do anything simply, right? He's like Teda, right? He wants to make fun. He was like the first superhero, you can say. So he remained entrapped within the coils of the serpent, imitating the behavior of an ordinary mortal. But when he understood that the women, children, and other residents of his village of Gokula were in acute distress because of their love for him, and he was the only shelter and goal in their life, he immediately rose up from the bonds of Kaliya serpent. So once he did that, he started expanding his body. So once he started expanding his body, the coils of Kaliya were kind of getting, tormented, as he used the word, by the expanding body. And in great anger, the serpent then raised his hoods high and stood still, breathing heavily. His nostrils appeared like vessels for cooking poison, and the staring eyes in his face like firebrands. Thus the serpent looked at the Lord. Again and again, Kaliya licked his lips with bifurcating tongues as he stared at Krishna with a glance full of terrible poisonous fire. But Krishna continued to circle around him, just as Garuda would play with a snake. He gives an analogy here. In response, Kāliya also moved about, looking for an opportunity to bite the Lord. So what he was doing was, he was trying to bite with his multiple hoods the Lord, and Lord was kind of being playful and was beating him, almost like dodging him every time. And this continued for a long time, long enough that he depleted the serpent of all his strength with his relentless circling. Shri Krishna, the origin of everything, pushed down Kāliya. So as he got tired, he got onto the hoods of Kāliya and he started pushing down. He pushed down Kāliya's raised shoulders and mounted his broad serpentine heads. Thus, Lord Shri Krishna, the original master of all fine arts, began to dance. So imagine the Brajavasis are anxious. There's a huge snake in the middle of the lake, and here Krishna, a 5-6-year-old boy, dancing on the hoods of Kāliya. And imagine that scene. How beautiful would that be? And somewhere in the purport, acharyas write that Krishna used to flirt with all the gopis, so that was his way of enticing all the gopis that he's the real hero. Because the time of Ras Leela is going to come in a few years, so he has to kind of make a reputation for himself. So he did that, and then I will like to read this purport with you also, just because it's beautiful, because it translates into how we are and how our anarthas are in our lives. So he says, Sri Harimamsha states, Krishna grabbed Kāliya's head with his head and forced it to bow down. Most people in this world, and we know a lot of them, I was one of them, in this world are quite reluctant to bow down to the Supreme Person, the Absolute Truth. In the contaminated state called material consciousness, we conditioned souls becomes proud of our insignificant position. We are this, we are that, we are this president, we are that president, and are thus reluctant to bow our heads before the Lord. Yet, just as Lord Krishna forcibly pushed Kāliya's heads down and thus defeated him, the Supreme Lord's energy in the form of irresistible time kills all conditioned soul and thus forces them to bow down their arrogant heads. In the book by, one of the books, they say, George Harrison used to say that everybody is looking for Krishna. Some know it and some don't. So whether the people on the street are looking for Krishna or not, they don't know it, but they are still looking for Krishna. So sooner or later, Krishna says, Kalo Asmi. So he is going to kind of make their heads bow down to him. It's just that some people who are smarter like you realize that before they actually are on the death door. We should therefore give up the artificial position of material life and become faithful servants of the Supreme Lord, enthusiastically bowing down at his lotus feet. Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that Lord Krishna's lotus feet became red like copper because of their contact with the numerous hard jewels upon the heads of Kāliya. Lord Krishna, with his glowing reddish feet, then began to demonstrate his artistic skills by dancing on the unsteady, moving surface of the. So he was moving. So he was dancing all along and making child play of such a difficult thing he was doing in the middle of the water. This extraordinary demonstration of dancing skills was meant for the pleasure of the young women of Vrindavan, as I was saying, who at this phase of their relationship with Krishna were seriously falling in love with him. This is like the pinnacle of the Leela happening, and Krishna is dancing and having fun, just like he fought with Lord Varaha. We saw that movie recently as a group. He was enjoying every moment of that fight with Varadev was enjoying the fight with Hiranyakshu and how he killed him. So that was his Shivari Rasa, which he was enjoying. So in the next verses, I'll describe what happened next. So Sukadeva Goswami says, Kāliya had 101 prominent heads, 101 prominent heads, and when one of them would not bow down, Lord Krishna, who inflicts punishment on cruel wrongdoers, would smash that stubborn head by striking it with his feet. Then as Kāliya entered his death throes, he began wheeling his heads around and vomiting ghastly blood from the mouths and nostrils. The serpent thus experienced extreme pain and misery. Exuding poisonous waste from his eyes, Kāliya would occasionally dare to raise up on one of his heads, which would bleed heavily with anger. Then the Lord would dance on it. So imagine all the heads are down, suddenly one head gets up and Krishna jumps on that head and subdues it again, forcing it to bow down with his foot. The demigods took each of these exhibitions as an opportunity to worship him, the primeval personality of Godhead, with showers of flowers. So imagine that scene. Imagine being in that Leela. My dear King Parikshit, Lord Krishna's wonderful, powerful dancing trampled and broke all of Kaliya's 1,000 hoods. Then the serpent, profusely vomiting blood from his mouth, finally recognized Sri Krishna to be the eternal personality of Godhead, the supreme master of all moving and non-moving beings, Sri Narayana. Thus, within his mind, Krishna took shelter of the Lord. So, what next? So, Kāliya is about to die, and he had several wives. So, his wives came at the scene, realizing that her husband, it's been described in the purports that somehow or the other they saw in the eyes of her husband that he is kind of surrendering to Krishna, so they came to his rescue. And really the true heroes of this story are not necessarily hero and villain, but not necessarily Kāliya, it were his wives, because what I learned from this chapter was that, I know we know Kāliya's name, but it was the Nagapatnis who actually have a bigger presence in my heart. So reading forward, then as Nagapatnis came, the very first, here the husband of these wives is killed. He's about to die, but not being worried about the husband right now. All they're saying is that how did he become so lucky? How did he got the feet of Krishna on his head? So they say, did her husband carefully perform austerities in a previous life? So did he really did something good that he was able to have Krishna on his head and got trampled by him with his mind free of pride and full of respect for others? They knew what Kāliya's presence was in this lifetime. So they're saying, did he do any austerities prior? Why are you pleased with him, Krishna? Or did he in some previous existence carefully execute religious duties with compassion for all living beings? And is that why you, the life of all living beings, are now satisfied with him? O Lord, we do not know how the serpent Kāliya has attained this great opportunity of being touched by the dust of your lotus feet. For this end, the goddess of fortune, we're talking about goddess Lakshmi, performed austerities for centuries, giving up all other desires and observing austere vows. So they're perplexed. These are Vaishnavis, these are devotees who are saying, we have been praying to Krishna all our lives, and here Kāliya, who's like the worst come person who can get, he's getting the mercy of Lord Krishna. What has he done? What is special he has done? And in 37 he says, those who have attained the dust of your lotus feet will never hanker the kingship of heaven, limitless sovereignty, the position of Brahma or rulership over the earth. So they are so deep in their understanding, they very well realize that all the other things are nothing but minuscule in the front of the dust of the lotus feet of Krishna. They are not interested even in the perfections of yoga or in liberation self. So the last verse in this section, he says, and I'll translate this 38th verse. I wanted to read the purport of this. O Lord, although this Kāliya, this is Nagapatni saying to Krishna, O Lord, although this Kāliya, the king of the serpents, has taken birth in the mode of ignorance and is controlled by anger, he has achieved that which is difficult for others to achieve. Embodied souls who are full of desires and are thus wandering in the cycle of birth and death can have all benedictions manifested before their eyes simply by receiving the dust of your lotus feet. So in the purport, they write beautifully that it is a very rare for a conditioned soul to free himself from the contamination of illusion and thus become established in perfect consciousness of the absolute truth. And yet this benediction was achieved by the serpent Kāliya, because the Lord personally danced upon the serpent's hood with his lotus feet. It's really rare. Although we conditioned souls may not receive the mercy of having the Lord dance on our head, listen to this carefully, we can receive the dust of the lotus feet of the Absolute through the Lord's representative, the bona fide spiritual master, and thus go back home, back to Godhead, forever freed from the misery and ignorance of mundane universe. This is what the Nagapatnis are saying to Krishna, and I think the second section of my topic would be on that. So moving on to the prayers, these are beautiful prayers we can say together. You can all see the Sanskrit, right? I'll say one line and so call and response. Namastubhyam Bhagavate Purushaya Mahatmane Bhutavasaya Bhutaya Paraya Paramatmane. So these are Nagapatnis saying to Lord Krishna, we offer our obeisances unto you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although present in the heart of all living beings as the Super Soul, you are all pervasive. Although the original shelter of all created material elements, you exist prior to their creation, and although the cause of everything, you are transcendental to all material cause and effect, being the Supreme Soul. So as if they have been reading Bhagavad Gita every day, right? Nagapatnis, they're really highly elevated souls, unfortunately being in the pangs of Kāliya here, but still maintaining their understanding of all the Vaishnava philosophy. So they truly were Vaishnavas, and they truly moved the heart of Krishna. Otherwise, why would Krishna spare somebody who killed the Gopas and was the cause of death for the cows who he loved? Govinda loved cows. So I feel that the Nagapatnis teach us a lot of things, and first and foremost being I felt was humility. So, I was thinking that here there's a fight going on between a child and the Kāliya, and Kāliya is about to get killed, but still Nagapatni have the humanity to not only realize that he's the Lordship and then bow down to him, and less being worried about, all they were thinking was how lucky he is, how fortunate he is that he's getting to the end of his life through the hands of the Lordships. They of course surrendered fully to him, and then last but not the least, they had deep devotion to Lord Krishna, and that's why Krishna actually spared Kāliya. So Kāliya's USP was that he was staying with these Nagapatnis, right, who were Vaishnavis. So that's why he got saved. That's why his life was spared, and then he was able. As a result, he was able to get the dust of the lotus feet of Krishna. Remember, the Nagapatnis asked this question, how did he get so lucky? He didn't do austerities, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. How did he get so lucky? So here we are getting the answer back. He was able to get the dust of lotus feet because he was associated with pure Vaishnavas, pure devotees throughout his life, his wives. We hear about the 3 gateways to hell. Anybody can tell that to me? Lust, anger, and greed. So, he definitely had 2 of the 3. So he was full of pride. Kāliya was full of pride. He was very arrogant, and he was very angry. I feel that these anarthas, time and again, they have hurted me again and again, and they have probably been part of your lives at some point or the other. And we are all trying to get away from these anarthas. And one way to get away from the anarthas is to seek the lessons from this Leela and apply it in our lives, which we are going to learn in the next few minutes here. So Krishna very mercifully cleared all Kāliya's anarthas by stamping on his 1,000 hoods, and he gave him the dust of his lotus feet. Don't you all wish that I was Kāliya and I was somehow getting the dust of the lotus feet of Krishna? It's a real sentiment, because here we are after Krishna Prema. We just finished the beautiful Kartik-month, and we all were craving for Krishna to somehow appear in front of us. We can kind of envision him, we can see him, we can hear him, and here he is, Kāliya, in some ways, the real villain, but in other ways he actually was the luckiest one here. So every morning, who all chants here? If you can show me with the show of your hands. So people who chant, do you recite Shishtastakam? There are 8 verses given by Lord Chaitanya. People who do so in Shishtastakam, senior Vaishnavas have taught us that those 8 verses, which were actually the only written verses by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, so they are very powerful. Each word of it is really strong. So please people who don't do that, imbibe that in your routine. It takes like 30 seconds or less if you get into the habit of it, and if you don't remember, just read it out. So the verse 5 of Shishtashtakam by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I don't know if you guys can read, but it's Enanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mahamisham Bhavam Vadam Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Sitaduli Sadisham Vichanta. So here Lord Chaitanya is saying, O son of Maharaj Nanda, Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. So, we are all in this ocean of birth and death. We are all in the ocean of miseries. I recently have some of my nurses who work with me, they're going through a very tough stage in their life. So I was thinking that who is free of problems? We are all struggling in this world of problems. We come to this Dukhalaya Shashvatam. We feel that we get a little bit of happiness. Yesterday I spent some time with the family, and maybe for half an hour I was feeling happy, but again, here or there your mind gets distracted, agitated, disturbed. We are all struggling through that. So here Mahaprabhu is asking Krishna to pull us out of that ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean and place me as one of the atoms at your feet. So that's the prayers of Lord Chaitanya. He's asking them to put himself at your feet, which is what Kāliya got. So how is the solution? We don't have Krishna in front of us. Yes, we do have deities, but how do we perceive Krishna? How do we get that dust of the lotus feet of Krishna? Is there a proxy for Krishna in this material world? And as there was a hint given in one of the purports I read, that there could be the dust of the lotus feet of the true devotee, which can act as a proxy and surrogate for Krishna's lotus feet, and that's what the solution is. We are going to say this verse, but because Priya Radhika did not teach me the meter, so I'm going to ask Madananda Prabhu to reach the correct meter. Prabhu, can you read this Sanskrit for me, please? I was not doing a good job. Raghu Ganetat Tapasanayati
Nirvapanad Grihadva
Nache Jaya Nirvapanad Grihadva
Na Chandasa Naiva Najal Na Chandasa Naiva Jalagni Suryair
Na Chandasane Jalagni Suryair
Vina Mahatpad Rajobhishekam
Vina Mahatpad Rajobhishekam. Thank you, Prabhu. Prabhu has done Sanskrit, teaching with Amarendra Prabhu, and he's one of our leaders. So this is just a little sidetrack. 13th December, we have our Gita Jayanti. People who have not given their names, please do that. There are several people who can teach you how to say it in Sanskrit if you feel not confident about it, but this is a perfect opportunity. We'll spend about 6 hours together. We'll read the entire Bhagavad Gita, Sanskrit and English, or if somebody wants to read Hindi, that's okay too, instead of English. But please give me your name so that we have a list of good people. I have about maybe 36, 37 people who have given their names, but I would highly encourage that rest of you all should also do that. I also have a lot of kids who have participated too. So, Mother Prabhu would be a great person to learn from. So why am I diving into this story is that this is a story of Maharaj Raghuna, who was a king who met with the great saint Jad Bharat. People who don't know the story of Jad Bharat, so he was the famous king Bharat Maharaj, who in the age of Vanaprastha left his entire kingdom, left all his wealth and opulences and went to a forest to live by himself, and there he got compassion in a baby deer who was just born as his mother died, and he kind of took that baby deer under his wing and started taking care of him, so much so that he forgot his own sadhana. And in the next life, he himself became a deer, and then the life following, he became Jad Bharat. Jad means like somebody who's not smart. So Jad Bharat, he was his name, and why he was called Jad Bharat is he was like, even though he was not deaf and dumb, but he didn't speak. He was like a kept quiet, and he had such deep consciousness that he felt that instead of speaking nonsense, he'll stay quiet. So people thought he's like a dumb person. That's why his name is Jad Bharat. So here Maharaj Raghuna was going in a palaki, in a carrier for the king, and his servants asked Jad Bharat to give help, and then he started instructing Jad Bharat in a way that he sounded very elevated. So here Maharaj Raghuna is inquiring from great Saint Jad Bharat as to how he had attained such a liberated stage of a Paramhamsa, and in the answer the great saint Jad Bharat replied as follows, as Madananda Prabhu read. Thank you, Prabhu. My dear King Raghuna, unless one has the opportunity to smear his entire body with the dust of the lotus feet of great devotees, one cannot realize the absolute truth. One cannot realize the absolute truth simply by observing celibacy, brahmacharya, strictly following the rules of regulation of householder life, leaving home as a vanaprastha. So all the good things, all the things which will give you a regulated life, accepting sannyasa, or undergoing severe penances in winter by keeping oneself submerged in water. So all the tapasya which somebody can do, or surrounding oneself in summer by fire and the scorching heat of the sun. So no matter what you do, by hook or crook, he's saying you will not be able to attain the absolute truth. And the only way to absolute truth is to get the dust of the lotus feet of great devotees. And beautiful purport, Prabhupada writes here, actual knowledge of transcendental bliss can be bestowed upon anyone by a pure devotee. Vedeshu durlabham adurlabham atma bhakto. One cannot attain the perfection of spiritual life simply by following the direction of Vedas. One has to approach a pure devotee. Anya bhalashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam, from Nectar of Devotion. By the grace of such a devotee, one can understand the absolute truth, Krishna, and one's relationship with him. A materialistic person sometimes thinks that simply by executing pious activities and remaining at home, one can understand the absolute truth. That is denied in this verse. Nor can one understand the absolute truth simply by observing the rules and regulations of brahmacharya, celibacy. One only has to serve the pure devotee. Remember, one only has to serve the pure devotee. That will help one understand the absolute truth without fail. So, we talk a lot. When I came to ISKCON, connected with the movement 2018, it's a general saying, oh, Prabhu, let me take the dust from your lotus feet. It didn't make sense, right? Literally, what does it mean? Like, do you imagine we going out and checking the slippers of everyone and getting the dust and putting it on our head? No, it is not like that. It does not mean like that. The one feeling is, yes, you want to serve Riya Vaishnava, but that dust has a metaphorical meaning, which is what we are going to learn today. So what does it mean to take the dust from the feet of Vaishnavas? So there's a beautiful lecture by my Guru Maharaj on this particular topic, on this verse, which we are going to read the portions of the purport from. It's on the 2nd canto, 3rd chapter, 23rd verse. And I'll skip the Sanskrit here. So translation: the person who has not at any time received the dust of the feet of the Lord's pure devotee upon his head is certainly a dead body. And the person who has never experienced the aroma of the tulsi leaves from the lotus feet of the Lord is also dead body, although breathing. So powerful words, strong words here. I was reading the context of this. This is a conversation which is happening between Suta Goswami. So people who, to give some context, Bhagavatam was originally spoken by Sukadev Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj in the last 7 days of his life. That's why we do Bhagavat Sapta, the week of Bhagavatam. Then in that assembly of people who were hearing along with Parikshit Maharaj was present a sage called Suta Goswami, who himself was a reader. So the book unfolds that Suta Goswami is telling the story which he heard with his ears from Sukadev Goswami to his gang of people in Naimisharanya, which is a very very pious, auspicious place. So this is a conversation between Suta Goswami and the sages sitting in the assembly. So this is the second sequence of the story which is being told of Bhagavatam. And there the sages are saying this to Suta Goswami, the strong words, that the person who has not had any time received the dust of the lotus feet upon his head is certainly a dead body. So it's waste to live like that unless you have the fortune of having the dust of a lotus feet of a Lord's pure devotee. So here Giriraj Maharaj beautifully explained. I highly recommend you guys to listen to that lecture. He says, one of the common saying is that one should first love the dog of the beloved before one shows any loving sentiments for the beloved. So imagine you're trying to impress upon a girl or a boy. You want to first impress the dog of that girl or boy before you actually impress the girl or the boy. So that's what Prabhupada is writing in the pulpit. Prabhupada wrote these books for Westerners, right? If you think about it. So he kind of connects, he makes it story relevant to them, because I didn't grow up with dogs, so I probably cannot imagine that simile. But he's telling that if you want to kind of impress a girl, you impress her, you start loving the dog first. So the analogy he's going to tell in the next line, the stage of pure devotion is attained by sincerely serving a pure devotee of the Lord, who's the dog of the Lord, imagine. The first condition of devotional service to the Lord is therefore to be a servant of a pure devotee. And this condition is fulfilled by the statement, reception of the dust of the lotus feet of a pure devotee who has also served another pure devotee. So my Guru Maharaj served Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada served Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He served his Guru Maharaj. So we were all dogs of our respective spiritual master. So if we have to impress our spiritual master, we have to impress his dog first. So if you have to impress Krishna, we have to impress the people who are in that lineage of disciplic succession to be getting that mercy from them. That is the way of pure disciplic succession or devotional parampara. In other words, listen to this. This is a beautiful line. In other words, Lord Shri Krishna is the property of his pure unconditional devotees, and as such only the devotees can deliver Krishna to another devotee. So remember, only the devotees can deliver Krishna to another devotees. In the lectures I heard about this, Giriraj Maharaj was saying to all the public sitting this, he gave this lecture in ISKCON Chapati. He was saying that every one of you, and I testify to that, who has come here to this platform of Krishna consciousness, you can connect the link to somebody who gave Krishna consciousness to you. Otherwise, it will never come to you. You cannot read a book in your school and become Krishna conscious. It doesn't work like that. Somebody has to have that connection. Premalas Prabhu met me, gave me that book, read with me. I'm sure you all have your own stories here, but this is really important that Krishna is the property of his devotees. Only a devotee can give Krishna to you. So remember that always in your life. Krishna is never obtainable directly. Lord Chaitanya therefore designated himself as Gopi Bharatu Padakamalur Das Das Anudas, or the most obedient servant of the servants of the Lord who maintains the Gopi damsels at Vrindavana. A pure devotee therefore never approaches the Lord directly, but tries to please the servant of the Lord's servants, and thus the Lord becomes pleased, and only then can the devotees relish the taste of the tulsi leaves stuck to his lotus feet. In the Brahma Samhita, it is said that the Lord is never to be found by becoming a great scholar of the Vedic literatures, but he is very easily approachable through his pure devotees. In Vrindavana, all the pure devotees pray for the mercy of Srimati Radharani. That's the reason why Gaudiya Vaishnavas pray to Radharani, because she is the best devotee of the Lord. So if we can please Radharani, then we automatically get an LOR or a recommendation to kind of get Krishna's mercy as well. So in Vrindavana, all the pure devotees pray for the mercy of Srimati Radharani, the pleasure potency of Lord Krishna. Srimati Radharani is a tender-hearted feminine counterpart of the Supreme Whole, resembling the perfectional stage of the worldly feminine nature. Therefore, the mercy of Radharani is available very readily to the sincere devotees, and once she recommends such a devotee to Lord Krishna, the Lord at once accepts the devotee admittance into his association. The conclusion is that one should be therefore more serious about seeking the mercy of the devotee than of the Lord directly, and at once doing so, by the goodwill of the devotee, the natural attraction for the service of the Lord will be revived. So beautiful purport, beautiful discussion in this verse, and just wanted to take few key points. The stage of pure devotion is attained by sincerely serving a pure devotee of the Lord. The first condition of devotional service to the Lord is therefore to be a servant of a pure devotee. I'll repeat. The first condition of devotional service to the Lord is therefore to be a servant of the pure devotee. People who remember 4.34 Bhagavad Gita, they talk about you cannot attain knowledge by anybody else other than seeking submissively from your spiritual master and serving him unconditionally with love. So this condition is fulfilled by the statement, reception of the dust of the lotus feet of a pure devotee who has also served another pure devotee. Just repeating that. That is the way of pure disciplic succession or devotional parampara. So I hope, devotees, you understand that yes, we cannot be trampled just like Kaliya's hoods, but we can obtain the mercy of the Lord by obtaining the mercy of his devotee. So please serve the Vaishnavas in and around you so that you can get the mercy of the devotee. So my take, one point today was that Lord Krishna is the property of his pure unconditional devotees. Only the devotees can deliver Krishna to another devotee. Something which we should always reflect on when we are dealing with devotees. Prabhupada said, you'll make me happy by cooperation. I think he was so profound and deep. He knew that the secret of success in spiritual life is to be pally with each other, to not, to work in a mutual cooperation as we do in our congregation most of the times, I would say. And we fight, we come along, right? I mean, the point is that we are all working for the same purpose. So some of the practical examples, I always think, what can I receive from this on how to receive the dust from the lotus feet? We follow the instructions of Vaishnavas. We serve the Vaishnavas and we henceforth try to please the Vaishnavas. That should be our motto. That should be our goal of our life. Because that's how we'll get the dust of the lotus feet, not by looking after and running after the slippers. Recently an incident, we did a program at home for university students, and Keshav, he's not here, I think he's in Orlando. He's here. So he was, Hare Krishna Prabhu. So on the way, while everybody was leaving, his slippers were on my garage side, while he was leaving from the front door. I said, Prabhu, I'll go and get your slippers. Somehow he felt I'm going to put his slippers on my head. So he went running. No, I'm not going to let you do that. So the point I'm making is, it's not literally taking the dust of the lotus feet. Of course, it's literally too, but it's more about serving Keshav Prabhu, who's a true devotee of the Lord, rather than rushing after his dust. Or, I always feel people always go after also the remnants of the devotee of the Lord, right? So again, yes, there is some value in it, but more value is to serve them. Not necessarily run after the one piece of, salad which is left, or the one little rice grain which is left, something like that. So take home point is understand what does it means to take the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord. So what can you all do? So in December, we are having one of the Prabhupada disciples who's visiting us. Her name is Urmila Prabhu. She's a disciple of Prabhupada. A very profound speaker. If you haven't listened, I would encourage you to do so. She's visiting us for a weekend, I've been after her for over a year and a half, and somehow by the mercy of Mahatma Prabhu, I was able to connect with her. And we're going to do a 3-day program, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We have different topics which we have selected. She has a whole sequence of seminars, and I hope we can show her our enthusiasm, utsahan dharyat nishchayat. So with our utsaha, we can show her that we are very powerful, so she can keep coming to us every year. She has written several books. She's going to bring some books with her. And I would highly encourage you to engage with her. So what can you do to serve her? You can hear her attentively, listen to her sessions, have one-on-one conversation with her. As you know, we have not had the fortune of having too many Vaishnavi speakers, so I'll highly encourage you. We are going to do a session just for Vaishnavis on Saturday at Madananda Prabhu's home. With Meenakshi Mohini Mataji's permission. We're going to do the program for them, and you can interact with them. And then, of course, this time I'm again being selfish, so I'm going to host her at my home. But in future, please, open your home so you can serve them, all the Vaishnavas who come. And in future also, we can do home programs. So this is the way to serve the pure devotee. This is the way to get their mercy. This is the way to get the mercy of Krishna. So these are the things you can do for future, for learning, for taking home from the discussions today. So as always, I feel the take-home message for us, I think I'm bang on time, Prabhu. Adi Guru Prabhu, you might be proud of me. So seek association of Vaishnavas and serve them. Do not take them for granted. My dearest God sister once, Anandini once said that we take Vaishnavas for granted all the time, association for granted all the time. And it's really profound, you know. You don't come to the center for a month and I feel kind of some emptiness, you know. You start going back to the old habits somehow. So you are our shield, you know. We are all each other's shield. So seek association. Serve Vaishnavas, because by serving Vaishnavas, you'll please Krishna. Whatever, small or big, you know, it doesn't take too much to please a true devotee. So whatever little you do will be counted towards the credit. And the only way to get Krishna Bhakti is by the mercy of a devotee. So almost even on a material platform, if you think that you're after Krishna Prema, that's your ultimate goal, then you say that this is the route. If I find a pure devotee, I just hold his dhoti and somehow serve him. Krishna Prabhu recently came to my home and he serves everybody who comes here. I said, Prabhu, let me massage your feet. He didn't agree, of course. But he's really powerful, you know. If there are 100 Vaishnavas who come here in our city, 99 stay at his home. So if somebody can serve Kamal Krishna Prabhu, please do so. I highly encourage you to do that. And Krishna will, once he's pleased, he'll remove all our anarthas and take us back to Godhead. So I feel these were my take-home points. I hope I was able to make some sense of what I said today. Whatever I said, the glories are all to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj, and all glories to you who were an attentive listener and encouraging me. I'm definitely not a good speaker. I never was. I'm learning from you all, and I would be happy to take any comments, corrections, criticisms, constructive, and questions. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Jaya Hari Prabhu. Wonderful, class. Now I got to know what is actually the dust of lotus feet of devotees.
That's right.
One of my close friend, I will always ask him, I will call him and say, Prabhu, I need the dust of your lotus feet. And he was hearing couple of times. Third time he said, Prabhu, kitna bheju? 1 kg, 2 kg, 3 kg. I will scrap it from my leg and I will send it for you. Now I understood what the real dust is.
This is Varnali Prabhu, right, Prabhu? Varnali Prabhu?
No, Viram Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu, for sharing that.
Okay, let's take any other questions. Mataji's.
Adi. Jaya Hari Prabhu ki jai.
Wonderful talk, Prabhu. We all know that you are such a powerful speaker, not just a profound speaker, but very powerful speaker. Jaya Hari Prabhu not only told us what Kāliya-Damana Līlā is and the lessons, but he also gave so many other information. If you remember in the beginning, he said we have so many reading classes. Then he talked about the program that we could all do. Then he encouraged us to serve all the Vaishnavas, and he glorified all other Vaishnavas. So many qualities to learn. Bro, one question I had, yes, you mentioned so many times that we have to serve the pure devotee. How do we recognize a pure devotee?
Prabhu, Nectar of Instruction, verse 5, talks about the 3 levels of devotees. Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyam Adhikari, and Uttam Adhikari. So Kanishta Adhikari is somebody who is taking holy name. So everybody sitting here who chanted with us all is a Kanishta Adhikari. So he writes, Nectar of Instruction, Prabhupada's purport, he writes that you should mentally honor them. That's for the Kanishta Adhikaris. For Madhya Adhikaris, you should associate with them, learn alongside them. You should definitely spend more time with them. And last but not the least, the Uttam Adhikaris, which is a pure devotee, is like our Acharya Vargas, our Guru Vargas. And NOI writes that for that level of devotees, you should serve them personally when possible. If not by Vani, then by Vapu. Not by Vapu, which is physical association, but then by Vani. So all the books which we have for all the Acharya Vargas, by reading them, by spending time with them in our reading throughout the week, we are actually associating with Prabhupada. We are actually serving him while he was leaving this planet, while he was leaving his body. Prabhupada said to everybody, whatever I have to give, I have given it in my books. So when we do that, we serve him, we make him happy. When we distribute, when Narayan Prabhu and Vishwanath Prabhu is back in action now, he went for a yatra, beautiful yatra with Radhanath Maharaj. When they go and distribute books, they are serving the Uttama Adhikari. So that's how I feel we would know and then serve the appropriate devotee Prabhu. I hope that clarifies.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Any other questions? Comments? Yes. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Jaya Hari Prabhu. I had two reflections. Thank you for your wonderful class. The first one is kind of silly. When you said how Kāliya would have one of his head come up and then Krishna would jump on it and it would go down, it reminded me that the arcade game,
I
the
know,
smack.
right? I was singing the same.
It's like everything is kind of inspired by
I bet
Krishna.
they read, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So that's a good way to, wherever we go, we can see that. And
Yeah.
thank you for, explaining that wonderfully.
I used to love that game, by the way, with Aryan I used to play.
Awesome. And then the second is that you answered a big question that I've had recently. The more and more I read the books or listen to lectures, that a lot of places say you cannot get the mercy of Krishna without serving Radharani or getting her mercy, or you cannot get it if you don't serve Prabhupada. And I was like, who do I serve? There's so many. There was that confusion, but you clarified it that they are all devotees of the Lord, so they are all under the same umbrella. You just have to serve the devotee of the Lord. So thanks for clarifying that big confusion that I had for a long time.
Yeah. Become the dog of a pure devotee.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for beautiful reflections, Sakshi. Sakshi is doing great work at the university. She's teaching and taking active part in taking care of university students at UC, and is there every week and is actively participating. So Hari Bol for her. Thank you.
Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Wonderful class, and if we able to do this to Krishna devotees, I mean if we are able to serve Krishna devotees, I think naturally our ego will go down and gratitude develops. I think we should do this. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Very true. Very true. Thank you.
What are some practical opportunities in our center for people to engage in service? If you could elaborate.
Yeah. So we can do several things, starting with something basic like opening the center or helping open and set up the center, keeping the center clean, doing Kirtan. I think one of the things which we lag in, a lot of us are Indian descent, so we are not punctual. So for the first half an hour, we have sincere families like Kamal Krishna Prabhu, so we can come on time. Really important. Then during the class, we can be fully attentive. I often sleep, so please pardon me, but something which we can be attentive on. That is our goal of association for the entire week. So it's our nourishing for the entire week. And then at the when we are doing our prasadam, I think try to meet with new people. It's really crucial that we connect with each one of us. So rather than sitting with the same person every time, we talk, interact, find out what's going on in their life, what's their sadhana going, maybe talk about chanting if they don't chant, talk about reading, maybe share some reflections what they have read. So that's one thing. And then during prasadam time, there are volunteers who serve prasadam. You can participate in serving prasadam. And then after the prasadam is over, we all do cleaning, and I'm happy my leader, Meenuji, has kept the cleaning team. I'm part of the cleaning team today, so we can clean at the end so that we can get done at time. And through the week, I would say being connected with reading several Prabhupada books. And as I said, I'll share the list so that whatever fits in well for you, you participate. And then last but not the least, everything which comes in this material planet is through Lakshmi. So even if you donate $1 to Krishna, it'll probably be $1 million when you go to spiritual world. So, the bills have to be paid. And I'm a little blunt person, as people know. So, even if you donate $1, it gets counted. Your Shraddha counts, your faith counts. We are struggling in some ways for that, but Krishna is still taking care of us, good care of us. He's the protector and maintainer. That's the 6 limbs of surrender. So we have surrendered to him, so he'll take care of us. Did I miss anything else, Adhiguru Prabhu? Yeah, thank you. Yes, people who have kids in that age group, please enroll your kids in the classes. Teachers do a lot. Anandani Gopika is a phenomenal reader. She plans the entire year out. She has curriculum, she has activities, craft work, this and that. So one of the things we can do is to encourage our kids to be part of that, because that motivates the teachers even more. So I would highly, highly encourage to do that. That's one way of serving Prabhupada's family. Thank you, Prabhu, for reminding.
Hare Krishna. So, as Prabhuji said, right, Sakshi is helping with youth preaching. So there are a couple of devotees here who are helping with youth preaching, like Bal-Leela Prabhu and Arjun Keshav Prabhu. So they all are doing youth preaching at UC. And the youth preaching is going so well because under the guidance of His Grace Antardip Prabhu. So Radhesham Prabhu usually come to US once or twice a year. This time he is coming to US. The first thing he is doing is coming to Cincinnati for 3 days. Right? So 15th, he will be flying 15th and 17th, 18th, 19th is a long weekend. So he has planned to do a camp for youth for 3 days in Cincinnati. And he will, January 17th, 18th and 19th. So we are planning everything for the youth camp, and then he will give 1 day for our congregation also. So just wanted to pass on this news to everybody. Thank you.
I would say, being very modest, Kamal Krishna Prabhu is the spearhead of this activity. So there are 2 sessions going on actually, one for Western devotees and one for Indian devotees or Indian descent or subcontinent. The Indian one happens on Friday evening, and in which some people are part of, and Western one happens on Wednesday evening, in which the other half is a part of. But Kamal Krishna Prabhu, being omnipotent or omnipresent, is part of both the groups. So let's say 3 big Hari Bol for him as well. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
So as Prabhuji, Adhiguru Prabhu very well said, he likes to glorify all other Vaishnavas. So now it's time for me to glorify him, right? He is not saying whatever he do. He is saying whatever everybody does. So he also serves Vaishnava, like Mataji is coming, lot of Vaishnavas come, he takes care of them. Being a doctor, both Mataji and Prabhuji are very busy, but still they take time out of it and they serve. Recently they had a Diwali party, like 50 students came to their house, and they helped with everything. So let's say Hari Bol for Priya Radhika Mataji and Jaya Hari Prabhu. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Wonderful. Is the question? Any other questions? That's the question. Okay.
Who is it?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for such a wonderful class. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, I was just thinking, I loved how you said Kāliya got saved by, of course, the Nagapatnis, and their devotion is much higher. But we always hear that, in general, that husbands, whatever devotional service husband performs, half of it goes to the wife. Mm-hmm. And it's not the other way around. So whatever wife performs, it stays with her. So in the case of Kāliya and the Nagapatnis, did Nagapatnis, it was Kāliya that exalted from his previous life or something, where that's why he got these Nagapatnis and he gave half of his kind of devotion to Nagapatnis to have that devotion? Or was it the other way around? I don't know. Can you spread some light on that?
I knew Krishna's sister will stump me. But thank you, Mataji, for that question. The only way I understood the whole Leela after reading through Bhagavatam is that it's the power of association. If I am in the middle of you strong devotees, then I'm safe, even though I may have a lot of anarthas. So I think somehow or the other, Kāliya's only saving grace was that he chose wives who were Vaishnavis. So I don't know the percentage of split in the bhakti, but he definitely got saved because of Nagapatnis. Thank you for asking that question. If someone can answer better, I'm happy to hear the answer. Adiguru, Priya Radhika, Madan Prabhu.
The answer was in your lecture. He served the Vaishnava, right?
the vibes, yeah.
Yeah, I would just add, like, again, talking about, serving the Vaishnavas, and Prabhu mentioned about Srila Prabhupada, who's our founder Acharya, and when we were reading Prabhupada Leelamrit, he says there's a pastime where his disciples are talking to him, and, there have been fall downs, like Prabhu talked about. There are so many anarthas we all have, from millions and millions of lifetimes, so it's not very easy to just get rid of them. But the power of serving the Vaishnavas, we cannot minimize, it's so potent. Just by serving those Vaishnavas, millions and millions of janmas of anartha that we have can get bhasmed, right? So in that pastime, Prabhupada is talking to his disciples, and they're saying, some disciples have left and they have gone. So Prabhupada's disciples is telling Prabhupada, this is going to take generations for us to, get cleared of our anarthas. And Prabhupada says very, very nicely, at that point, that for us, what it requires is sincerity. And if you're sincere, in one generation, it is possible, right? So like that, so when he was talking about the pastime of Kāliya, again, you see, they asked, what did he do in his previous life? It doesn't matter what he did in his previous life. In this life, he served the Vaishnavas, he was associated with the Vaishnavas, and that he not only we are aspiring to go back to Lord. God actually is coming and dancing on his head, right? So he's not even having darshan, but I'm actually having, the lotus feet of the Lord on his head. So that is the power of association. So again, we learned that from Srila Prabhupada. He was talking about this just recently when we were reading, a couple of days ago actually. So thank you.
Yeah, I was just wondering, thank you for that explanation. What my mind was thinking is, Kāliya also offended Vaishnavas, and there's such a great, it's the mad elephant offense, right? When you offend a Vaishnava, what to say, he killed the cows, the gopas, so many, troubles that he gave. So this is why I was kind of going round and round in my head, so to speak. Kāliya must have done something to attain or get that forgiveness from, even though Nagapatnis asked Krishna to forgive him, and he committed this mad offense, mad elephant offense that we say. So this is where my confusion lied. So yes, he served Vaishnavas by, serving the Nagapatnis, but he also offended the Vaishnavas, which were dear to Krishna. So this is just something that I was contemplating upon.
Later on in the chapter, I think the power is, as Prabhu was saying, sincerity. At that moment, he had that change of heart, and later on in the chapter, it's even said that Kāliya, or maybe I was listening in lecture, that Kāliya requested that you're sending me away from you, Lord. And Lord, later on, it's been described that in future lives, or he used to use Kāliya as one of the carriers when Garuda was busy, or something like that. Maybe I'm not remembering the exact details, but he did serve Krishna, so he wanted to serve Krishna. So I have committed thousands and thousands of offenses. So, but the goal is that from that moment of truth, or that moment of change or transformation, from there on, Kāliya did become much more, humbled by the Lord, and probably that's what Lord is merciful, so He'll forgive and forget every time. So that's what He did.
That's helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
We
Krishna.
can also take inspiration from this pastime that we only have one head, and we have all those anarthas from millions of lifetimes. One head, right? Sometimes you think, after my education, I want to do this. After my job, I want to do this. I want to become the CEO of the company. I want to open my business. So again, there are so many things, so many desires we have just with one head. Here he had thousands of it, and still he was delivered, right? So that is the power of associating with Vaishnavas, and by their mercy, everything is possible. So we have hope. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Let's all thank Jaya Hari Prabhu loudly by chanting 3 times. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. So at this point, we would like to take time to recognize and introduce any of our devotees who have come here for the first time to our center. Anybody who's here for the first time? I think we have a lot of new faces. Yes, Prabhuji is here. Prabhu, if you can introduce your name and
Bhakta David.
Bhakta David,
yes.
And how did you come to ISKCON Cincinnati?
Visiting, yeah.
Visiting. From where, probably? From spiritual world, I know. But
We're all on Boom Mandala. We're all visiting. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so let's welcome David Prabhu by chanting Hari Bol 3 times. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. And as Jaya Prabhu said, you can know more about him by having prasadam with him today. Okay, so, okay, anybody else who's here for the first time? Mataji's side, everybody has been coming here? They're for the first time? Yeah, if they can, you can introduce them, Mataji, if you can.
I'm not going to say names, but they're here for the first time. They're my family and friends.
Raise
So-
your hands. Who's all here?
Yes.
Let's welcome all of them by chanting Hari Bol 3 times.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Anybody else? Okay, so you're repeat customers of the Lord, so that's good. Let's keep that repetition going so that we can remove the repetition of our life, of our birth and death cycle, right? So, yes, you have one more? Yes.
Aarti and my husband Vipul. We're new Mason since last 2
You
years.
live in Mason,
Yeah.
okay. How did you hear about ISKCON Cincinnati?
I'm familiar with ISKCON from Mumbai, so I was just searching and just saw this place.
Okay, Hari Bol. So let's welcome them by chanting Hari Bol 3 times. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. We'd also like to recognize so like Prabhu was saying, we have so many things going on, so many services, and one of the most important services that you can do practically is also by serving the Vaishnavas in terms of serving prasadam. So every week we have opportunity, if you have some special days in your life, birthdays, anniversaries, you can sponsor prasadam, and that way you are actually directly contributing to serving the Vaishnavas. So many Vaishnavas here, Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. So today we would like to recognize one anonymous family who chose to remain anonymous. So let's thank them by chanting Hari Bol 3 times for being so generous-hearted and not seeking name, fame, recognition for themselves. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Okay, so next we'll have Aarti, and after Aarti we will have the prasadam. Yes. Anything else, Prabhu?
We'll have a few announcements after the Aarti. So we can all stand up for the Aarti. Matajis can scooch a little bit on that side, so Prabhujis can come in the front. All of you can come in the front.
जय जय श्री गौर निताय चंद्र भगवान की जय। की बजय जय घोड़ा चांदे आरती को शोभा बजया जय घोड़ा चांदे आरती को शोभा जानामि तातवने जगमनलो जानामि तातवने जगमनलो वदके नीताचा माम गदधारा रके नीताचा ददा विवादके Nenitai chan Amega dadara Ake Nenitai chan Amega dadara Nikate advaita srini Vasa Chatradara Nikate Advaita Srini Vasa Chatradara Pavasi Ache Goracha Ratna Simhasane Vase Ache Goracha Ratna Simhasani Vivavase Ache Gaurachan Ratna Simhasani Vase Ache Gaurachan Ratna Simhasane Aarti Korena Brahma Adi Devagane Aarti Korena Brahma Adi Devagane Ibanara Hari Adi Kori Chamaradula Chamaradi Adi Kori Chamaradula Divanara Adi Kori Chamaradula Adi Kori Chamaradulaya Gosadegaya Gosadegaya Vashankavade Gantavade Ade Karatala Vashankavade Gantavade Ade Karatala Vashankavade Gantavade Ade Karatala Vashankavade Gantavade Ade Karatala Paramarasana Madhurame Dangavade Paramarasana Gantavade Gantavade Madhur Madhur Madhurvade Gantavade Gantavade Madhur Madhur Madhurvade Gantavade Gantavade Madhur Madhur Madhurvade Gantavade Gantavade
baje, madhur 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 baje. Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai Gaura Hari Bol. Shiva Mahu Koti Chandramajini
Shiva Mahu Koti Chandramajini Vardhana
Krishna Prasada Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Achatare Satari Deva Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Achatare Satari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadada Sivasadi Bhaktavrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadada Sivasadi Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama, Haraya Krishna Yadavaya Nama, Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama, Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama, Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama, Yadava Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama, Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama, Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah. Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudana, 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 Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohana, Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohana, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Radha Madana Mohana, Radha Madana Radhe, Jaya Radha Madana Mohana, Radha Madana Mohana Radhe, Jaya Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara Sri Radhe, Jaya Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara Sri Radhe, Jaya Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda Sri Radhe, जय राधा गोविंद राधा गोविंद राधा गोविंद श्री राधे जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर श्री राधे राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे जय राधा मदन मोहन राधा मदन मोहन राधा मदन मोहन श्री राधे जय राधा मदन मोहन राधा मदन टाइगर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल टाइगर हरि बोल टाइगर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल टाइगर हरि बोल जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभु जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल जय ओम विष्णुपदाय परहंस प्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तम सत श्री श्रीमद एसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की इस्कॉन बीबीटी फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपदाय परहंस प्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तम सत श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिर गोवर्धन धाम की वृंदावन मायापुर जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की गंगा माई यमुना माई की तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की सामवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga.
Namaste Nrsimhaya. Namaste Nrsimhaya. Namaste Nrsimhaya. Namaste Nrsimhaya. Pralada lada daine. हिरण्यकाशीपूर्वक्षः शिलतान्कानकालाये इतो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहा यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा बहिर्नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहा नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये तव करकमलवरे नाकाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गादलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गा Jaya Jagadish Hare, Jaya Jagadish Hare, Jaya Jagadish Hare. Jagadish Hare. Jaya Nrsimhadev, Jaya Nrsimhadev, Jaya Nrsimhadev, Jaya Nrsimhadev. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. नरसिम्हादेव भगवान की, भक्त प्रहलाद महाराज की, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की। महाप्रसाद गोविंद, नाम ब्राह्मणी वैष्णवे, स्वल्प पुण्यवतं राजन्, विश्वासनेव जायते, शरीरा विद्या च जो निंद्रियता है काल, जीव फल विषय सागर, तारा मत जीवाती, लोभो मोषु दुर्मति, ताके जेथा कठिन संसार, कृष्ण बड़ दयामय, कारी बारे जीवा जाय, स्वप्रसादन दिलो भय, सयनामृतपा, राधा कृष्ण गुण गाओ, प्रेम धाको श्री चैतन्य निताय, जय माँ जय निताय, जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य, प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर,
Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Shri Srinivasa Gaurasundar Mahaprasadam ki Jai.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So all the kids, prasadam is being served. You can all go. I have a few announcements to make. For all the devotees, you can come in the front if you would like. Informal, last week I told you about the inspection for C2. Is that right? Yes. So the inspection went well. Yes. C2 is our center at 8800 Governors Hill Drive, the building that we have purchased, that we are trying to acquire for our programs there. Then last week there was a inspection. We passed our inspection partially from the building standpoint. The fire department had some things that they recommend.